What's going on, bro? Welcome back to my channel. Listen, man. So it seems the trial of Lil Durk, man, a rapper out of Chicago, man, big time rapping. I like a lot of his music. It seems he's gonna be on trial soon, and it's wild, man. It's really not looking good. You know what I'm saying? Lil Durk been in he been in jail for maybe like a year, now a year and a half or so. And he's not able to go to trial, and come to find out that it was already speculations that one of his friends, OTF Jam, was snitching on him. You know what I mean? I think now it's kind of come to truth that this guy really is a snitch. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to tell Lil Durk, and it's going to be a lot of witnesses going to be telling Lil Durk. That's why I say, man, this is crazy because a lot of them guys that was real close to Lil Durk and Lil Durk were rapping all these songs and stuff like that is really not looking good, man. So I'm gonna react to this video, man, by end of sentence by Jake, man. Pretty big YouTuber. I'm gonna react to him. He really breaks down a lot of stuff and paperwork and stuff like that. So let's get into it, yo.
Oh, y'all thought things couldn't get any worse? Prosecutors claim OTF Jam will testify that Lil Durk took him to the bathroom and told him to stop committing so many murders. OTF Jam is confirmed as prosecution witness number 1. Today at the federal courthouse following Lil Durk's hearing, it was revealed that prosecution witness number 1 is OTF Jam, who is one of the most talked about alleged cooperators connected to the case. And not just because he's snitching on Lil Durk, but because he is allegedly, and it's about to be confirmed, a whole hitman in these Chicago streets. A few months ago, I realized I was probably overpaying for car insurance, and it was like every year the price just seemed to go up and up without me even questioning it. And insurance, you will be able to pick the best plan for you.
So I'm here at the federal courthouse after the Lil Durk hearing, and we just had some very, very interesting information about, possibly the most well-known alleged cooperator in this case, OTF Jam. Now, there was a crazy back and forth where they brought up.
So this guy right here, man, he's trapped Lil Ross. He's a YouTuber as well, and he was going to the courthouse. It seemed like on every other time court appearance. And he's kind of like breaking it down of what happened and what a lawyer's talking about and stuff like that, because he breaks down a lot of stuff on his YouTube videos as well.
A bunch of things about Jam. They said that the song Back Again was going to be used. And I'm not going to lie, I was happy to hear that because that's like one of my favorite songs.
Facts. Before I let him finish, let's see why Back Again would be used. Blast his ass. I don't even ask when it comes to cash. They catch him, blast his ass. Jam, get out that jam. I gave him 50 and gotta ask again. He was catching murders way back then. That's when the max was in. Let's break this down, right? Now, allegedly, blast his ass. I don't even ask when it comes to cash. They catch him, blast his ass. This is supposed to be in reference to none other than FBG Cash, who was very close with FBG Duck and all of the guys associated with that side. Cash was one of the last to die. One of the last things he did was take a picture at King Von's mural right outside of O Block, putting on Instagram, "Whole world witness your main sniper get his shit splack."
That's crazy right there, because you have a lot of guys, man, that's from Chicago or whatever, and a lot of these guys beefing with each other, you know what I mean? And King Von got killed, and now you got people like that guy right there, Cash, who went to his memorial and a post, you know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, this guy got killed, which is crazy. Like, it's wild, man, you know what I mean? Like, he ain't even talking to the guy, but he took a picture and trolled Lil Durk now. You know what I mean? And he got killed himself. Like, this whole thing is just crazy, man.
And I mean, not long after this, Cash got killed. And the photos came out of him laying there stiff as shit. It's just a recurring event. Someone mocks the dead and then joins them. So allegedly, this was about Cash. I don't even ask when it comes to Cash. They catch him, blast his ass. And how I would break that down is, it's not even a question. If you see him, kill him. Jam, get out that jam. I gave him 50, ain't gotta ask again. He was catching murders way back then. That's when the max was in. Now, this is a throwback story post of Lil Durk saying, "Jam, where you at, bitch?" And apparently Durk gave OTF Jam 50,000 in cash after he came home.
The streets. I'm talking about blood, like that shit gonna shake. Real family though.
You got that.
Real members only.
Get out that jam and give him 50, he ain't gotta ask again, bro.
Fact. More than that. I love both of them. Can't. This shit forever.
And then obviously saying that Jam was catching murders way back when the Max was in. I mean, this is like back in the day. So he's basically alleging that OTF Jam is an old hitter, been a hitter.
So Lil Durk is kind of rapping, and these are the lyrics from Lil Durk's songs. And that guy OTF Jam that we just seen, he got out of jail. I think he did about maybe like 10 or 12 years already. You know what I mean? And these guys rapping these songs, and now the lawyers in the courtroom are using their own lyrics against these guys. You know what I mean? And getting these guys caught up, which is crazy. You know, but then again, it's like these guys rapping about murders and stuff like that in the songs, which is crazy. You know what I mean?
Bruh.
It's just wild, man. It makes no sense at all. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, when people really just expressing themselves in these songs, a lot of time it's not really true. 'Cause a lot of these guys really talking about fake stuff, fake beefs, fake selling drugs, fake shooting and stuff like that. But nowadays, these lawyers using these lyrics that y'all did the hits, y'all killed these guys. So we really gonna see like what really happened, or can they really charge Lil Durk these whole murders and stuff like that? It's crazy.
Jam said he loved Durk for giving him 50K when he got out. Well, we're gonna see how much he loves Durk inside of this federal courtroom, because now apparently he's gonna testify and say it all.
But obviously, you know, in that song, he talks about, you know, Jam got out that jam, I gave him 50,000, he ain't got to ask again. Well, they're basically saying that Jam is going to testify and cooperate and say that that 50,000 that Durk gave him, that he rapped about him back again, which bear in mind was made before King Von even died. But Jam is going to testify and say that he believes that he was given that money basically as like, you know, as a show of loyalty to basically kind of get, you know, some kind of like future, as basically not like a prepayment, but basically like on the hopes that in future he might be able to do things for him, he might be able to slide for him. Now what's crazy is that he's allegedly gonna testify that actually when they were filming a music video, at some point, okay, this is absolutely crazy, at some point, all right, Durk and a bunch of the other members apparently confronted Jam in a bathroom. They took him into the bathroom, which is super weird, and they apparently confronted him, and they basically said, you moving too hot, you're gonna get us jammed up, you got to be more careful about committing murders, and you're going to get the feds on us. Now apparently that wasn't talking about the Pab murder. Apparently there's other murders, and it sounds like he's actually going to admit to the feds that he was doing all kinds of murders that haven't even been prosecuted by the sounds of it.
Damn, that's crazy right there.
Bruh.
So that means right there that if he's going to confess to murders that he allegedly did, then he's definitely going to snitch on Lil Durk. So it's like, if he's going to confess to murders, he definitely going to be going to jail, and he's going to try to get a lower sentence. So this is very interesting right here, yo. This is crazy.
Even related to this murder, and that he was basically a top hitter in OTF and for the Black Disciples, and that it was really that serious, and Jam was doing all that. So Jam's name came up a couple times.
Now Trenches News, love him or hate him, from what I remember, it came out that he was like a paid informant from Chicago, and he was really around a lot of people, you know, famous people in the drill music scene. But he's saying FBG Cash was shot and killed for Lil Durk by OTF Jam, which is crazy, because that means the same person testifying against Durk was literally the same one that took out Cash, and then Durk literally put it in a song. And this is the thing about these killer snitches, right? Is just because they're snitching, it doesn't mean they're not a killer. OTF Jam, the alleged informant in Chicago rapper Lil Durk's murder for hire case, is out of jail on house arrest and daring anyone to come try him. Now, this is a story post that he put to his own Instagram, dropping an address. And he would say 30 this for, and anybody else that feel like they like that, I'm doing something Sammy the Bull didn't do. I'm dropping my own location, fresh out on house arrest. I'm trying to see who trying to get it in blood. It was a whole lot of woofing when I was in jail. Now it's time to show and prove. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, Sammy the Bull was basically John Gotti's hitman. He caught like 17 and 19 murders, snitched on John Gotti, and then barely did any time for any of the murders, right? So Jam is comparing himself to Sammy the Bull. It's crazy because we got some people from Chicago speaking out. 600 Breezy, I know Jam. If he was going to snitch, he would have snitched a long time ago.
At first there was like OTF Jam, and then you stopped hearing his name.
I know Jam personally.
Oh, really?
Like,
okay.
Personally. So my mom's side, that St. Life Evans, St. Lawrence, all that shit, Evans Mob, his squad, all that shit like that, where Jam is from, he would be considered my op, but he not because of my other people type shit, because he's from 79th and Vernon. Jam, I don't think Jam, if Jam was gonna snitch, he'd have been snitched on a lot of shit a long time ago. Jam's done a lot of time in jail. Like Jam, real nigga. Like I tilt my hat to him. I ain't never seen Jam do no bitch ass shit. So when they started saying his name, I was the first nigga probably like, I don't believe that. I gotta see proof.
Another one. This is how I know Jam didn't snitch on Lil Durk. I don't believe it 100%.
Attention to him. Jam ain't had enough time out here for them to get that type of bond with Jam. So put it on Jam. Jam a snitch. Have that shit been put out yet? That it was a wire warrant in the case? Have the documents, the black and white, say that someone with a wire?
No, we have to check cases.com.
No, wait, hold on. They say they got audio recordings, video recordings.
But how you know they will say 100%. They will tell you wiretap.
Let me finish. I don't think they're being actually specific of who and what, but they are saying that they got audio.
But they will tell you 100% that is wiretap.
Now here's the thing, right? Regardless of anyone's personal opinion, Jam might have been a stone cold killer and no one thought he was gonna snitch, whatever. They're saying in court they've identified him as the prosecutor's witness number 1 and he's gonna testify. And the thing is this, if Jam sat down with the feds, right? And he's talking to the feds and he's gonna give them information and he's gonna be talking about all of these things. I've never been in any federal situation, knock on wood, I don't ever want to. But from what I understand, he can't just tell about this. He has to tell about everything. Now, this is Gene Borello. He was an associate of, I believe, the Bonanno crime family, the mafia, and he cooperated, went against them. But he's gonna break down how when you snitch, when you cooperate with the federal fucking government, you can't just tell on one thing, because they're talking about a different mob guy in this video. And he's saying you can't just snitch on that. You have to tell them every single fucking crime you've ever committed. So when they give you a pass, the pass is for every single crime you've ever committed. But if you didn't tell them something and it isn't documented, that's gonna fuck you.
No, but the thing with this is, and you know, like I said, I'm fair. I just keep it real. You can't sit with the government and just cooperate on that, especially when he has all that stuff in his past. So like when you sit down with them, they're not worried about you cooperating against those guys. They're gonna want also mafia stuff. So if he did sit with the government, with the agents, he's gonna have to tell them everything he's done in his life. That's just part of the deal. So he has to admit to everything he's done. They're not gonna just let you sit there and talk about whatever he's saying. They're gonna ask for everything you've done since you're 5 years old. That's the way it works. So when you do agree to a proffer, you have to admit to everything you've ever done in your life. That's the only thing where that's getting mixed up, you know?
So from my understanding, Jam is gonna have to sit down, or probably already has sat down with the feds and explain to them every single murder he's committed. And so he can't just be.
I want to know how that gonna work though. You know what I mean? Like if he's telling about the murders that he did, and it's like, okay, you tell us the murders you did, now tell us about Lil Durk. If you really want to be not sentenced or you want to be free, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be determined how much you give them for the sentence you might get. You know what I'm saying? You might be free, which is crazy, diabolical if he end up getting free, that if he admit to murders, you know what I'm saying? So now it's like he got to tell everything to get a lower sentence, man. I do know a little bit about that right there. Like if you do snitch, then that's going to help you kind of in the long run of how much sentence you're going to do in time in jail. You know what I mean?
Be like, oh, Durk this, Durk that. No, he has to explain everything he's done, which is going to more so prove how dangerous he is. And then he's going to drop yeah, this is why Durk was shouting me out. This is why Durk gave me money. This is what Durk sent me to go do. This is dangerous. Now, it also came up in court. The feds revealed Lil Durk was mad at 6ix9ine and Wack 100 for trolling him about not sliding for Vaughn. And the interview was a major motivation for him to really slide. Federal prosecutors brought up the 6ix9ine and Wack 100 interview during Lil Durk's court hearing, arguing that their viral slide for Vaughn trolling negatively affected Durk's mindset and contributed to his alleged motivation to slide for Vaughn.
Nigga that put fucking 10 bullets in King Vaughn and he died there by himself. Why nobody slid for that nigga? Yo, y'all want this?
No, I'm gonna be real with you.
No,
Hold on. I discovered.
say, yo, Durk.
Yo, 6ix9ine be so animated, man. You know what I mean? Like, this guy be so animated. Yeah, it's just wild, yo.
Listen,
I discovered King Von.
No,
when
I don't want
King
to talk
Von
about King
died.
Vaughn.
So
Why
I don't
is
know.
Durk not sliding?
Now, I feel like, of course, they're gonna throw that in there, right? 6ix9ine is the king of trolls. So it's like, of course, the feds are gonna be like, oh, you know, this pushed him even further in that direction because he didn't like the internet saying this and that, da da da. I mean, yeah, people were trolling. It was happening, and maybe it did have an effect on his mentality. You know, just like we saw with the DJ Academics interview with Durk, he was like, yeah, I don't see people saying that shit anymore. Do you see that? And Ak was like, nah, it slowed down. So it's like, Now, not only do we have OTF Jam being a snitch, we have new documents showing that OTF Vonnie allegedly identified as protective witness number 2 in Lil Durk's case. And I mean, this came out that these two guys were the alleged snitches, and it wasn't necessarily confirmed, but these were the big rumors, and now it's 100% confirmed. And I mean, this is the proof here. Video depicting Banks, Vaughn, and PW2 purchasing jewelry. This was Vaughn, Durk, and Vonnie inside an icebox. So we got Durk shopping. We got Vonnie ass right here. We got Vaughn to the left. And what's crazy is if Vaughn knew he was a rat, Vaughn probably would have killed him himself. I don't even think Vaughn would have sent anybody. I think Vaughn would have did it himself, to be honest. But this video's got 6.7 million views from 7 years ago, and nobody would have known that years later Vaughn would be dead and Durk would be standing next to the man that's going to testify against him. This is the cold reality of, you know, really crime. Vonnie could have told in anything. It could have been a robbery, it could have been anything. And Vonnie had a lot of participation in this case, you know. Allegedly, according to the paperwork, Vonnie was the main one setting everything up. He was acting like the face for Durk. So of course he's gonna be like, nah, Durk did all this. Durk was behind this. He ain't trying to spend forever in federal prison. And for him to even have a chance at coming home, he has to make sure that Durk spends forever in federal prison. But that is the update. Let me know y'all's thoughts.
All right, shout out to Jake, man. I do be following his channel. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all follow Jake, man. End up seeing his channel. Pretty good YouTuber right there. But listen, man, this whole thing is pretty wild. You know what I mean? Pretty wild and intense. That Lil Durk had everything. This guy was on top of the world, and he's a very good rapper. You know what I mean? I do like a lot of his music, you know, but it's like when these guys be rapping these songs and having beef and stuff like that, man, a lot of these lyrics they singing about, rapping about, it will be used in the issue in the court. You know what I mean? Which is crazy because that's this suppression and stuff like that. But as we already know, man, that these guys really be doing crime and they be putting these songs, which is just stupid and crazy. Now it's like gonna be two guys gonna be testifying against Lil Durk. I don't know, man. This trial about to start in a few days, and I must say it's really not looking good for this guy. You know what I mean? It's really not looking good. Don't get me wrong, Lil Durk has some high power lawyers, and he might beat it. If he beat this case, Lil Durk might be on top of the world. And I must say, when he get out, he might be like #1 rapper in the world when he get out, which is wow. You know, I mean, won't be surprised because he's a good rapper. But after beating this case right here, if he do beat it, he's gonna be number one. But listen, man, that's all I got for now. Let me know your thoughts about this whole case, man. Y'all think Lil Durk's gonna be he gonna beat this case, or you know what? He's cooked. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, yo. Don't forget to like and subscribe.